Hi, everybody. Chris Stokes from Custom Fitness Personal Training Studio. Today's topic is information versus education. Is there a difference? Do you know what the difference is? So, we are in a time period of the most information available to the general population pretty much ever. You've got the internet at your fingertips, you've got books on every possible topic, you've got pamphlets and booklets on just about everything, and then you've got just your general population walking up giving you their knowledge. So friends, family, coworkers telling you what they've found out. Now, some of this information is valid. Some of it has been tested and researched. It's coming from credible sources, whereas other parts of this information are really kind of personal perspective as well as personal thought preferences. So everybody kind of has their own thoughts on how things should work, whether it be in, general living or health nutrition or how to color your hair. It's all kind of information that's held up on their beliefs. Now, there again are credible sources that we should look to, but a lot of times it's hard to find those. So in this world of most information ever, there's actually a term for that. It's called infobesity, and that's where we've gotten so much information that now it's actually become almost dangerous to our health, because we're taking in all these different ideas and it's so confusing. At the best, it's confusing. At the worst, it's actually damaging. So what do we do with all that information? I know as a professional in the fitness and wellness field, I see a lot of info products go across Facebook and across my email and across at different events that I attend and things like that. And some of them I'll go ahead and purchase and kind of see what it's all about. Maybe it's from people that I know, or maybe it's just to check it out and kind of see what clients might be buying and what's happening there. So doing some test research on that. But I can tell you that by doing that, you spend a ton of money gathering information. And so as you gather that information, what do you do with it? Well, you store some of it. Some of it matters. Some of it's just kind of there on your hard drive, right? Or in your bookshelf or whatever. So you gather, you store, you gather some more, you let a little bit go, but you store some more. It's just a constant process. But what is actually active in your life? What are you actually using that information for? Is any of it actually sinking in? So I like to compare this to college. College now versus college 20 years ago. So 20 years ago, you didn't have these 6-week, 8-week classes all the time. I mean, that was like a new thing, that if you were going to take a 6-week, 8-week class, it was usually during the summer when you were trying to cram something in. It was a mini term. But usually most of the classes were an entire semester long, if not a 2-part where you had 2 semesters of it in order to complete that course. And nowadays, everything's kind of crammed down. So what's the difference? Well, whenever you've got longer to absorb the information, you start to learn that information. So what I learned 20 years ago in school, I could probably still get a lot of that back out to you in a similar way that I learned it. However, a lot of people who are going to school nowadays in these 6 and 8 week mini terms really aren't getting the benefit of the education because they're not learning the material. They learn for the test and then they let it go. So that becomes information that's absorbed momentarily and then released. So education is where we actually start to understand and we start to grasp the concept, grasp ideas, and be able to use that information to then build on and be active in our life. No matter what that's in. I mean, it could just be general lifestyle, it could be study habits, it could be health and fitness, it could be a million different things. So education leads to understanding, and studies show that there is a significant improvement in health conditions whenever the acting practitioner, physician, whoever it may be, actually educates the patient or the client about their treatment. That if they teach them why they're doing it, what they're doing, and how it's going to work, that your brain actually steps in and helps the body to heal better or to work better because it understands what it is that you're doing. Think of it like a small child. If you tell a child, don't do that because you'll get hurt, they're going to think, well, great, but they don't really know. I'll try it anyways. Whereas if you explain to them how they might get hurt or why you care that they don't do that, you kind of educate them on what's happening here and why that's important. Most of the time, they're going to listen to you a little differently because you actually, number one, spoke to them like they mattered. And number two, got a point across about, this is actually what the problem is. This is why I don't want you to touch it. And as you do that, you start to build their knowledge base so that then they can build off of that moment and go forward. Well, the same thing happens with adults, right? So in the situation of learning about how your body is going to work, how it's going to respond, why it's going to do that, it makes a huge difference in improving your health and fitness. So we take that approach here at the studio where as a new client comes in, we educate them on the nutrition principles that we use, why we use them, what they're going to do for them, and why it's different than the other courses that they may have tried before. Same thing with exercise. What are the foundations? Why are we doing those foundations and why does it matter? And as you do that, or as we do that, then it starts to help those clients to improve their health and fitness level even faster because they start to learn why and how and what about each movement or about each request that we make of them. So it makes a huge difference. So why then, shouldn't you get to be educated on what you're doing? So often we're buying supplements that we're told what they do, or we're told, yes, you need to take this, but we don't really know why. I have people come in here all the time with these, arm length lists of supplements that they take, and I kind of whittle it down first by asking if the doctor has recommended any of them. And more often than not, maybe there's one or two at the most on the list that a doctor's recommended. The rest are, I saw this one in a magazine, or a friend had this one and it worked, or someone told me to take this, or, I just saw it and it seemed like a good idea. And the problem is that they don't even know why they're taking them anymore, let alone how much they're taking of them, or if they're even doing anything. Recent case scenario, I had a client come in who had been on another arm's length list of supplements. She had gone through and decided one day that she couldn't afford all of them, so she cut out about 5 or 6 of them, and she'd been off of them about 3 or 4 months. And she hadn't noticed a single difference. None of them were life-changing. None of them were helping her body to be better or changing her body for the worse. So as she took them out, she didn't notice anything. And a lot of times I think that we take a lot of things, kind of that placebo effect, where we believe that if we take it, it's going to make us into this great person, this great level of health, this great level of fitness. And it turns out that really that has less to do with what we're wanting than our consistency plus our intention over time. So if we can focus on being intentional consistently for longer periods of time, we'll get to where we want to be. And learning about what we're doing rather than just buying the next product that comes out is going to be a huge factor in that. Hope you have a great day. If we can help you out with any of your health or fitness needs, feel free to give us a call, 806-322-3188. We'd be happy to sit down with you and just discuss what we offer and see if it's the right fit for you.